Hello, welcome to this unboxing and build of the RX-78 to Gundam Beyond Global. Yes, that's right, there will be a build after this and you can skip towards that part if you're interested in seeing that only. So, this kit was released in June this year to commemorate 40 years of gunpla. And during the announcement, they showed us that this kit has a lot of new articulated points and new gimmicks that will definitely make it a step above the revive that we had previously. As this is a new kit, the barcode does not have the price tag that we would usually see in the older kits. Opening the box, we are greeted with obviously the runners of the kit. At first glance, we can see that the colors are slightly muted. It's a pastel blue. The white is an off-white with a mixture of, I would assume, is green and yellow, typical of regular RX-78 colors. And the yellow is also a muted pastel yellow, almost towards the point of being slightly brownish. Looks pretty good in my opinion. Moving on to the gray parts. The gray is the regular ABS plastic. I would assume that this is for the shield. Nice detail there for an HG kit. The waist as well. This is obviously the backpack. Can't wait to put this together and see how it looks. Moving on to the leg parts. I guess this kit will have a simple inner frame. This is the single decal that is provided. It's pretty good to see that kit's only coming with one decal. Taking a look at leg armor. And now moving on to the feet, the red is also muted, but still nice details at the bottom. This is obviously the face part with the chin, the bridge, and the camera. Looks like a Tengu mask. This is the new beam rifle. Has a modern look, still nostalgic nonetheless. Screams RX-78. As for the hands, very detailed. I like the details on the palm. Each joint can be seen clearly. This is very good molding. These are the leg armors and hand armors, all in white. Nice sheen. Also, the knee has really nice panel lining. Beam saber handles. These are recycled parts. They're made in 2013, as you can see here. This is the V-fin, which also comes together with the rim of the helmet. This is the helmet itself. Let's take a look at the manual. Blue Bandai logo over there. Some poses from the finished product with a lot of reading material. Portable Mega Particle. And here is the first RX-78 kit in 1980. Then it moves on to the first HG in 1990, Real Grid in 2010, 2015 sees a revive, and 2020 we get this, 40 years of gunpla. Inside the manual you get the basic instructions. This looks simple enough, the manual is rather short. Moving on, at the last few pages you get colored instructions. This reminds me of Lego kits for some reason. There's a hole for the action base as well. Accessories. You can also attach the beam rifle and shield onto the back, and the shield also goes onto the forearm. Alright, that's it for the unboxing. Let's move to the build. Before that, if you like this video, do subscribe. Let's move on to the head. Let's cut off the parts, starting with this red part. There is a mold line on this helmet, rather unsightly. Nothing simple files can't fix. This is a 3-part file I bought from China. I assume that would say last or finishing. Let's put on the face mask onto the main head part. And now the eyes. You will have to paint the rim of the eyes black because it's all molded in yellow. Now slide it in. As you can see, the Vulcans also protrude out once you slide them in. Nice color separation for an HG kit. Let's put on the rim and the V-fin. Takes a little time and a little elbow grease. Now the little red piece, and we have a completed head. I like the proportions on the head. Nice detail too. Moving on, let's build the body now. Remember to use a sharp knife. A dull knife is going to cause stress marks. Slip in this back part onto the main part of the body, and it all plugs in with a snap, like so. This is the shoulder joint. Also goes in with a snap, I guess. Very sturdy indeed. Now slide in the vents into the chest piece. And once you have those, just put them together. Remember to align the holes and push them in. Satisfying snap indeed. Now it's time for the lower waist section. 2 parts for this, one gray and one red, for color separation. This is the connector to the torso. You'll have to attach this first before you attach the upper part of the waist. And as with all the other parts, this goes in with a satisfying snap. Some articulation there. And this connects to the torso with a hinge. It also has a part where you have to lock it into the body. Nice articulation. No ab crunch though, unlike the origin ones. Now, slip on the cockpit hatch. It's pretty sad that there's no ab crunch on this kit. Slot in the neck joint into the collar and put that onto the body. With the head, we have a completed upper body. Let's move on to the backpack. The backpack has 2 parts and beam saber handles. Cleaning up this kit is rather easy since it's a new kit. The plastic is very easy to work with. It's impossible to get stress marks unless you intentionally want to. Get the 2 pieces earlier and slap them together. Nice click once again. Pop in the beam saber handle, sorry. Slide that into the back, and now you have a completed upper body. I think I just said that twice. Moving on, let's build the arms. ABS plastic is the easiest plastic to work with. You don't even need a knife for this. I usually just use my fingernails and scratch off the stress marks or nub marks. And it's clean. Amazing. Since the arms are identical, you can cut off all the parts and build them at the same time. To build the arms, we start with the elbow first. Get the bicep and connect it to the elbow part with a peg. Sandwich this and put them in between the forearm parts. Don't forget this little gray detail part which also holds the wrists. Close it up with the other half of the forearm and slide in the bicep armor. Nice 180-degree bend. This is the wrist for the right hand. Push the gray part into the wrist joint and slide this into the forearm. Look at those little details. This indicates which arm it is. So if it's the right arm, make sure it's facing the right side. Pop that in, and now we'll move on to the hands. The hands are polar, so remember to use the right parts. Just follow the manual and everything should be fine. Pop in the hand. And there you have it. A complete arm. Insert the shoulder joint. And build up the left arm. And be sure to push this all the way in though. Just showing off that bend. To attach the arms to the body, you just have to slide it up like this, rotate it, and bring it down. Very sturdy, you can't pull them off. And to ensure that they stay in place, put on these deltoid armors. That will keep the arm there forever. Now let's make the shoulder armor. It's just one single piece, be sure to clean him up all nice like. And it just goes in, just like that. Satisfying. Nice articulation of the arm. Easy arm raise pose. They also say that you can move the wrist, and this is a nice gimmick. Moving on to the waist section, these are the hip joints, and you slide them into the hips as such, and they move forwards to allow some extra articulation for the legs. You need to cover them up with this little crotch piece just to make sure they don't pop out. This is the rear skirt armor, and it hooks in just like that. Wow, articulated skirt armor for the rear. That's not something you see every day on an HG kit. Pretty good. These are the side skirts, and they just go in just like that. And you will have to lock them in place with these little white pieces. Snap them in, and you're good to go. Very sturdy. It will not fall off. The manual does tell you to cut off this part, but make sure you put on the white pieces first so it's easier to handle. Don't forget to sand down these parts so they don't rub against each other when they're inside the crotch. Let's make the little Federation logo. No painting needed. Amazing. Slide it into the crotch piece, slide this into the crotch piece, and put the crotch piece onto the hips. Now you have the completed midsection of the Gundam. Let's move on to the feet. It's a simple joint here. No polycaps actually. This is ABS plastic. Sandwich it in between that white piece and put these two together. Did I remember to mention? No polycaps in this kit. Everything's ABS plastic. So everything is a real tight fit. Put on the ankle armor, and we have a foot. Just repeat it for the other side. Nice articulation. Let's move on to the thigh and the knee joints. Attach the thigh and knee together. Oh, I must have missed the nub. Now slide them into the thigh. Now, as all of you may know, the thigh is rather long. Insert this part, which connects to the hip joints later on, and cover that up with armor. Very satisfying snap as always. Put on the joint armor, which I would like to think they're magnetic coating. Install the calves. Everything's tight since there are no polycaps. What a nice fit. Just to put it out there, I did not need to make any modifications to any parts to make them fit. Everything fits so well. It's almost like building a Lego set instead. As you can see, everything slides into place. Beautiful. Except for when it comes to joints, some elbow grease is required. This part is very hard. Don't worry, there's always a table. And it's in. Be sure to put it all the way in. And there we have it. Completed leg. Repeat the steps for the other leg, and we should be good to go. Now B-roll of the finishing parts, including the accessories. And there we have it, the RX-78 to Beyond Global in 1/44th scale. Stay tuned for the review, where I'll talk about my thoughts on the kit. Spoiler, I really like it.